Welcome back. We've had our dinner break. We're full of burgers and a good old time in the kitchen as well. But we've got another series for you guys, wonderful viewers. Prepare yourselves, because we're heading ourselves into Game 1, a best of 3 between Team World and OG. I mean, the matchup of these players, these teams, on paper, it looks like it's going to be a spectacular match. You could maybe argue that, OG have been underperforming recently and Team World are a very new team, but you look at the caliber of the, the drafting, the captaining of these guys. SVG and Sax have captained and coached teams. You've got Fly and No-Tail who have, brought this team together. And the draft so far, what do you feel? What do you think feels worth kind of pointing out here?
So the way this draft opened up was the first pick Night Stalker from Team World, and Fly thought about it a little bit, and then he just went Chen, Shadow Shaman. And just having some sort of pushing aspect removes a lot of the things that Night Stalker wants to do in the game. NS likes it when the game is slightly slow-paced, when you can play this pick-off game and really utilize the vision that he provides. He's not the greatest team-fighting tool because, he doesn't really provide any lockdown, and he relies on really auto-attacking people to deal damage. And that's hard to do into a creep army and Rasta wards. So I really like this idea that they opened up with. They went to Chen Rasta right away. But the response pick in Ench, I think, is very interesting because Ench and Chen, I believe they can take each other's creeps, but Chen has a way shorter cooldown on his creep persuasion. Because we had this argument actually at WSG, me and Ake, Loda, and the Swedish team about which one beats which one. And Ake was like, I think it's pretty hard to say, but the one advantage that Chen does have is the shorter cooldown, so you can take the creep back a lot easier.
Yeah, because you think back to maybe 2 or 3 years ago, going back into the history of Dota, when Chen used to get picked, you'd often ban Enchantress just because Enchantress, you just steal a Chen creep and be like, cool. And Chen would have the difficulty that if he stole an Ench creep, you'd still have the countdown timer.
Yeah.
So it would time out. But yeah, Chen has had a fair number of buffs and changes to him recently. Yeah. His Test of Faith got buffed quite significantly. But it'll be interesting to see with a very snap pick Enchantress there from Team World what they decide to do. As we get into the second phase, Lycan and SF banned, more pushing power there removed out. Presence of the Dark Lord affecting towers is obviously a great talent that SF has, and of course the Howl from Lycan on those Chen creeps would have been amazing. But looking at the way this is kind of setting up, do you expect Enchantress to just be in that off-lane role, maybe with the help of the Night Stalker to apply pressure? Or could this be like a dual roaming setup that they're looking at?
I'd say most probably one of these two heroes is playing the 3 position. It could be the Night Stalker just playing in the offlane, and then they use the Enchantress to try to deal with the Chen. But seeing both of them roam together, I think, is unlikely. This is something that, again, we discussed a bit at WSG, actually, within our own team, where Ake felt like with Enchantress, you want to have another, 4, kind of, where Enchantress buys the wards and she does all that stuff because she doesn't really farm the fastest. So having someone else that can push out creep waves and have some wave clear as your 4s, or your other support, is probably something you want to look at. And I mean, Night Stalker doesn't really do that, but so yeah, I think he's most likely going to be a position 3 NS for Ench, but they always have the option of adapting to what they see.
Absolutely. They now have a puck to respond to.
Yeah.
They're taking their sweet time about this pick, right? You're saying that third pick in this spot is pretty important. Team World go for an Abaddon. Interesting there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the idea here is. So I was assuming that one of those 2 heroes was going to be in the offlane, but now that Abaddon's been picked, it's most likely Night Stalker Ench as a dual roaming setup. And that means most probably you're going to get 3 solo laners, or 3 heroes that can solo lane very well to go up against these OG heroes. And the idea probably is to try to make sure that they win the laning phase so hard that OG can't hit their push timing, and that the Chen is so under level that he does not manage to, get enough creeps to really go for that push, and in that way kind of slow them down and prevent the push from even happening, and then allowing themselves to play the NS game.
Team World, with only 5 games on their record, pretty easy to go back and look at their Dota buff profile. Interestingly enough, it's the exact opener they used up against Team Moriarty in the Katowice Qualifiers in the previous round. Night Stalker, Ench, Abaddon. The DK is banned out here, so it looks like OG catching on quickly to what's happening, but the Weaver is still out there. But you look at that draft, and it really just is kind of a snowball. We're just going to run at you, try and pressure you as hard as we can with a bit of tower push here and there, but mainly it's this kind of survivability and laning phase where you're just never going to get whittled down and you just stay in your lanes, get some experience. As OG, is this a double down on the pushing power? Lone Druid up for them.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure who plays it, but I'm gonna assume it's No Tail, right? It should be a safe lane Lone Druid, I think.
More often than not.
Yeah, and I think it probably has to do with the laning matchup against the Baron as well. Picking this Lone Druid means that Rasta has a lot of options of moving around and playing elsewhere, maybe even dual laning mid or something like that, and putting that Lone Druid 1v1 against the Abaddon. So this is really, it's looking like both teams are kind of going for this like 3 solos and then the supports play together, or really it depends on what this last pick is from OG. So yeah, I'm not really too sure which team I like better. I think they both have different strengths. Like, if Team World is able to slow this game down and make sure that the Night Stalker and Ench control the early game, and it's like them adapting, I mean, OG trying to chase after those 2 heroes and they're the ones pressuring, I think it could be really huge. But if the laning phase goes a bit passively and OG can just farm up their items and hit this timing together, it's going to be very difficult for Team World to stop them, I think, in a straight up 5 versus 5.
Especially with that PL not having any kind of direct counters, right? OG no wave clear, really. They've left open that resolution hero, though.
Yeah.
And you look at this draft and you're kind of wondering what do they need to clear out illusions, to try and maybe amplify their push-up, add in some team fight to help out the puck, potentially. All things that you do want to look out for, but DP and Broodmother banned out. Oh, look at that. The Brood ban. Team World, they don't want to get hit by that one.
Yeah, they probably feel like they're in a pretty good position right now if they manage to do well in lanes and really pressure them. So getting Brood, kind of like if there's a Brood in the middle lane, you have this like dead area which you cannot cross. And Enchantress isn't really one of the best heroes where you can like start bottom and then TP top and make a gank there. You kind of need that creep to go with you. So banning out Brood is like, on top of not wanting to get brooded, it also keeps a lane open for them which they can gank with their 2 supports. So I really like that ban. But I was thinking about this just now, like Lone Druid with the Fear can push people out of the Dream Coil. And that could be a good way to like deal with PL. You know, you blink in silence, drop the coil, do some damage to him. When it's about to end, you press the Fear, he breaks the coil, and you get a long duration AoE control on PL. So
God, that's a really good point. They were doing this at was it the Boston Major? One of the majors, you know, a year or so ago, they were doing this a lot with the S4 Puck and the No-Tail Lone Druid. And Ember Spirit for Team World, a hero that I just never see anymore. You know, not in pubs, not in pro play. The hero has been somewhat untouched. There are a couple of players that do like to pick it up from time to time and still go for that, you know, magic damage build with Veil, a Maelstrom, the Boots for Travel.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
we've seen a little bit of a sneak back of the Battle Fury build from time to time. And here, definitely could be a possibility up against Chen Army, against the Lone Druid, but likely we will see that space-creating Ember Spirit with the kind of pick-off power, being able to take down some of these squishy heroes of OG. Like, you look at their lineup, they've got 3 squishy inner heroes, an agi hero that, sure, with his ultimate can tank up a little bit, but super susceptible to that magic damage coming through. And you have the root of the chains against Puck, which is so good.
yeah, I think something that's very interesting about the Team World Draft is you don't really know how they're laning either. And on top of all that magic damage, they're also very hard heroes to kill. Like, both PL and Ember are like these 2 heroes that you need a lot of lockdown to just deal with them specifically. And OG's draft kind of lacks like easy to use lockdown. You have the Shadow Shaman with the I forgot the name right now, but the chains?
Shackles.
Shackles, thank you. The shackles.
The grabby hands.
The grabby hands. But it's not like that reliable. And on top of everything, there's an Abaddon on the enemy team. Like, to deal with these stuns, the few ones that they do have. So I think in this game, the way it's set up, like, I really think it's going to come down a lot to how much does the Chen and Rasta manage to do early on, and how does the early game end up. Because in static lane situations, I think OG are going to come out on top. They have both Lone Druid and Monkey King, which are going to like win their lane slowly. And I don't really see any of these heroes that can like really zone out the puck from his lane and the off lane either. So the thing that they do have for Team World is that they have gank potential on pretty much any lane between Night Stalker, Enchantress, and any of these 3 cores.
And then mid to late game, they've got that kind of macro or map maneuverability, right? With Boots of Travel, with the PL and Ember being so hyper-mobile that they could maybe split push or come in to react to the pushes from OG. I'm looking at this S4 Puck, and like you're saying, there really isn't that much to deal with it. And if you send S4 up there, maybe with the help of a Jirax Chen rotation, 1 gank comes in, whoever's on that top lane, whether it be the PL or the Ember Spirit, I'm assuming the PL will head up there, but we'll see what happens. There's going to be so much emphasis on, we've seen this throughout the series, just that attention needed from the dual supports to come back, defend, play defensively, or do the polar opposite and try and create action on the other sides of the map. Excuse me. But ganking into a lone druid, like with Savage Roar, the fact that he's never really showing properly on lane as a hero, just keeping his Spirit Bearer up at the front, it's so very hard. There's No Tail. What? Who's that for? M-A-U-L-T-E.
I'm sure it's a funny way to spell mate in Australian.
Mate.
Right?
Yeah.
Could it be?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just add some extra letters in there.
Yeah,
it's the Australian way.
Exactly. So.
Or if you're Toby, just add an R to every word.
True. Or true, I guess.
True. Nice body blocks. S4 comes in, allows Fly to shackle up Saxa. And Night Stalker feels the stick of pain from Resolution. First blood goes the way of OG. Already a very good start as their 4 heroes rotate down. Lone Druid scouting with his bear up on the top rune. Again, just not putting himself in harm's way. And OG across the map, already at an advantage.
Yeah, they get this first blood. It looks like they're going to try to go for the 4-rune Dream. No Tail poking in with that bear. But from behind, might be a return kill here for Radiant, but...
Slowed down by the charm. They've got this Curse of the Avernus and No Tail. What's he got? Tangos, no Fairy Fire, no Salve. It looks like he's going to die here. One more click from SVG, and they do indeed. Not only that, but the Bounty Rune goes their way, so the 4-rune Dream going to turn into a 2 for 2 for runes and a 1 for 1 across the kill board.
Yeah, and one of the big things about killing Lone Druid this early into the game is that he does not have another bear respawn. So he's probably going to have to play... I mean, he's going to have it fairly soon, but going to have to play a little bit without that bear.
SVG starting in the Dire jungle, sitting behind mid. This Observer Ward looking across for the Courier. SVG maybe wants to snipe it out, but OG are just so clever. They're so smart. They know what's happening.
Yeah, they're aware.
Drag the Courier all the way back around. So lane setups, what we're looking at here, Abaddon against the Lone Druid 1v1. The classic tri-lane mid, Resolution, Fly, and Jirax all sitting around this Ana Ember Spirit. And Ember, a hero, super susceptible to these very early rotations. You think of a hero like Storm Spirit who gets ganked pre-6. Very similar for the Ember Spirit when he doesn't have that defensive Remnant ability, or even just a level up in Chains. Can be rotated on, and now they've got a Dark Troll. Likely the best creep here, honestly, to start things off so they can get the shackles lined up. Resolution gets the hits in, and Ana, he's going to die under his tower. 3 heroes camping mid. Never feels good about that.
Yeah, and this is such a big kill because basically what they've been doing with this Shadow Shaman is they've been having him sitting in the middle lane and just denying creep with this absurd base damage. And now that Ana's like, I finally get some XP under the tower, they're like, no, we're going to dive you and kill you and make sure you get nothing. So they're off to a really, really good start in this middle lane. And I talked a lot about how important the CS was in the last game. And it's basically right now in Dota, it feels like these creep kills mean more than maybe what they've ever had. Like this, having good creep kills means so much more than getting these kills. And the biggest aspect of Ana dying is really just the creeps that die to the tower.
Not for you.
It feels like what people more commonly do in the safe lane against an enemy off laner, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
If they drag or pull the wave, create a bit of an equilibrium disparity, then you're just diving onto the tower. Do that to the Ember Spirit as Jirax, nice TP after the Void, but the Pebble from the Golem comes in, the steal of the Satyr, and Jirax is dead inside this Radiant jungle. It does cause the 2 rotations of the supports though, and again, we're looking at this opening up lanes for No Tail, for Rezo to 1v1 the Ember, and S4 is having a pretty nice time bottom lane, right? Level 3 already, looking pretty good.
Yeah, looks like the lane is going very evenly, though I do think, mid.
Oh, is that a 1 kill turning into 2? Resolution, a couple more hits here, we'll get the stacks up, but it's gonna be the Satyr. Turning it back again.
Yeah, so it feels like as of right now, OG are getting the better end of these trades. Like, the big disparity between the two teams is the middle lane. Like, if you look top, Abaddon and No Tail are pretty close. Bottom lane, Puck and PL are pretty close in terms of CS. But in middle, it's really big that is favoring OG this much. This Frost is just denying creeps, man. Look at it.
Ana, you left our team. We're going to make you leave the game in a second.
Yeah.
Denying creeps, ruining his lane. But it's one of these things, right, where it can have a number of effects on a player, right? Ana could be thinking, right, they're focusing me, the rest of my team, you're going to have to pick up the slack here in the early game, and then I'll come back stronger later. I'll find a way back into the game and really prove my worth. Or it can just mentally crush you and you're like, they've ruined me. They've actually just ruined my game. 4F top. Chased down here by the bear. Fly ready with the shackles, and no mana for a shield means that 4F with a Savage Roar there is dead. A little rotation from SVG, not going to pay off as Jirax chases him back out of the lane as well. As bottom lane, they do get a kill on S4. Must have used his orb aggressively or something. Oh, they've got the 1 point in Crippling Fear, that's why. Saxa, 1-1-1.
Yeah, not very common that you see that, especially like... I think like almost always you get either 2 points in your Void or get the Hunter into the lane. I don't think S4 expected the Crippling Fear before level 4.
It's kind of similar with Earth Spirit, right? Where we've seen like a 0-1-1 build, like specifically against Puck off lane. Just that silence is so potent up against the hero. Fresh ward placed down by S4. Again, looking to see where SVG and Saxa are coming and going. But they will smoke in the fog, unnoticed by OG. We're moving in towards the middle lane. Rezo and Fly holding their staircase. This is going to be a difficult entry for Saxa and SVG. They've got, what, a Void, a Charm.
Yeah, they do have that nighttime up right now, though, so the slow from Night Stalker lasts quite long, even though it's just level 1. It's 2.5 seconds. Should be enough for Ember to catch up and drop those chains, but...
Fly's positioning is pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Able to have this kind of area where if they do come up the ramp straight or across, he's able to find them. Ana, at least a little bit of breathing room to get some CS, at the very least. As for left down bottom now to 1v1 up against the PL, already with a null. Second one should be coming out on the courier, which it is. SVG triple wards around mid lane. They're thinking, okay, Ana, we'll give you a better time now. One of them does finally dissipate, but still double observer wards on the mid lane.
Yeah, the rough thing is though that like they're putting a lot of emphasis on this Ember Spirit, but no matter what they do, like it's always going to be an Ember against Monkey King, and I think that's a pretty rough matchup for him.
Oh, S4's looking for the solo kill. Doppelganger gets Kaiser away, and Saxa is there again with this Crippling Fear. Nicely done. Kaiser will go back to Shrine, heal back up to pretty much full. Top lane, the root, they get the Entangling Claws onto 4F, but he pops the shield, and looks like he'll be fine for now to weather this storm. But double catapults. Jirax has stolen one, they've got the Spirit Bear still going, and they're pressuring this tower reasonably hard. But you can say the same thing about mid lane. SVG is here with a Mud Golem, they've got a catapult going, as Rezo tries to hold them back alone.
So, when I think about Ana as a player, I think of him like, of how he played on OG. A lot of the times they would like leave him kind of alone mid, let him have this like rough game, and he would do like the recovery thing. So I actually think he's quite comfortable playing the situation that he's in right now. This is something I think he's done a lot with OG, and it's going to be interesting to see how he does it against them.
They kind of sack him early, then come back later.
Yeah, like let him forget about him. He just farms, pushes out waves, and this is one of the strengths of Ember, right?
He's not a threat, surely.
Yeah.
We killed him a couple of times in lane already.
Made sure he got no creep kills.
20 CS, a half of that of the Monkey King. Bottom lane, a dive in onto S4. Not going to come to anything just yet, but this is Saxa nighttime. Looking for the silence. There's the jaunt away, though, just as the silence comes through. And S4 will be fine for now. But this is OG taking tier 1 top, shifting their weight towards mid. They really are just muscling Team World off this map, it feels like, at this moment in time, just forcing these reactions while Saxa TP's in, SVG's coming in from the east, and OG's like, cool, we've sent 2 supports to our Monkey King's lane. Now you've sent 4 heroes here, we can maybe go back and farm jungle, move up towards top and help Lone Druid, or even just wait around and we're getting the better trade regardless.
Yeah, and Jirax really is like opening up this map. Getting this tier 1 mid tower would allow for them to pressure the Ember Spirit when he goes to farm these jungle camps, which is basically where he's looking to, you know, recover his game and get back into it. And really, I like that he's saving this catapult. He does not want to give it away. He knows that if Team World makes like any aggressive rotation on other lanes, he can just rotate back mid and get that tower, as S4 is in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, and that Phantom Lance, a lot of damage, but he's still got this phase shift and jaunt away with the orb. The double nulls allowing him to be tanky enough to withstand all of that damage.
Yeah.
And mid lane, like you were saying, they come back in again. Not with the Chen just yet. Well, Jerax is wandering over. He's making his way there. This tier 1 middle lane in a lot of trouble. The searing chains from Ana. Oh, he has overstepped massively as Resolution gets the 4th hit in, and with that boundless strike, makes short work of the Ember Spirit. And now it's down to Forev to kind of stand here and be like, please don't kill our tower.
Yeah, and during all this time, you know, No-Tail's farming away. He needs to get to that Radiance. That's basically like the OG. All they want to do is they want to make sure to get to that Radiance as soon as possible for this Lone Druid and then start playing Dota 2. So the more the time that he gets to just farm alone, unpressured, the happier OG becomes. So all this stuff that's happening around the map, that Chen is like going to hit towers and forcing this Abaddon to rotate over, it's just making No-Tail so happy.
I always love little plays like that. TPing home with a bear, pick up the Midas, and then you recall back.
Yeah.
I often forget that you can TP with bear, honestly.
Yeah.
Don't play enough of the hero. Ana forced away. Level 5 still. Oh, he's so close to level 6. That's what he was trying to get up a top lane, but No-Tail knows this, diving in, and Jirax helping out a touch there. Gets the kill on Ana 9 minutes in. Sub-level 6. Oh, so barely, but it all adds up.
Yeah, he's having a really rough time, and you know, with his mid tower dropping very low, he's not really finding the space to recover. He's going to go top again to try to get that level 6. Though it's going to be a big level for him. Once he gets it, it's going to be a lot harder for OG to bring him down.
Forev's done a good job mid at least, holding OG back at least a little bit.
Yeah.
S4 still continues to defend his off-lane tower. Even with SVG here having a Sato to go forward, they will start the fight on OG's side. Snap of the coil, and they know which one's real. Kaiser is being caught and killed with a rotation from Resolution. Not only killing the PL, but getting that 4th hit. Very important if he wants to chase and catch anyone else, but SVG has run the other way until he walks into Fly. The vision he's given by God knows what. The Monkey King potentially gets the shackle up onto the high ground after the Hex.
Yeah, Monkey King being up on the high ground there, giving Rasta the vision to do that play. And now bottom, Jerax is, again, 10 minutes. There's another catapult coming. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take over the Radiant one here. Oh, he actually doesn't have the mana.
How unfortunate.
Yeah.
He will soon though, right?
Right, the
S4,
medallion.
bodyguard this. Yeah, body block your creep wave. Don't let them kill the catapult. Yeah, you're right. He steals it up. Double Satyr and the catapult. TP coming in from Kaiser. Is this a defense worth mounting here for Team World?
It looks like he feels pretty safe doing this play. He doesn't feel like they can really kill him. And OG aren't going to try to do that either. They're just going to take that tower, and now they're going to back off. They will open up the map significantly. The mid tower is like the next objective. And then they've got all the tier 1s already at 11 minutes.
Oh, if he gets a big boundless strike here, Rezo could think about turning and fighting. Throws it in onto Ana at the very least, but doesn't have any teammates nearby. It's just... It feels like a masterclass from OG here, right? The way they're playing, I so rarely look at the Lone Druid. And the reason is because they're doing this on purpose. They're making action happen. Bot lane, mid lane, jungle, and Lone Druid is just free farming, pushing lane.
Yeah, Jerax has done a great job of finding himself in the place that, you know, they're vulnerable. And now middle lane, there's a smoke wraparound, so this is Team World saying no. You know, they want to set a stop to this pushing, but it seems like OG's aware. Fly's already backed off.
Gets the Ether Shock in, shackles onto the Centaur to stop the chain stun. Oh, he's done it as well. Monkey, he's going to make a retreat here, needs the Boundless Strike to hold them back, and the Hand of God comes through, but they do get the kill with a 4-man gank squad. Jirax lurking on the eastern side, waiting for a go here with S4 arriving. No Dream Coil, only the nukes that he has at his disposal, but Lone Druid's just not getting involved, keeps Midas in creeps, building towards the Relic, giving away Resolution. Sure, it's a nice little kill for the Radiant. It doesn't get them any real objectives, doesn't get them, you know, a foot in the door, really. It's just a kill for kill's sake.
Yeah, exactly. And they still lost that mid-tier 1 tower to the Rasta Ward, so...
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, OG is very happy with the way this game is looking. This is what they drafted for, and the game is paced perfectly for them. And now they decided to go for a smoke. Looks like the PL is the target.
S4, Arcane Rune as well. Full Veil done from this offlane position with another 600 gold or so saved up. And Kaiser... Two deaths in quick succession already, and this is going to be the 3rd one. OG's turn to come in on force. Taking down that Phantom Lancer as Jirax with Arcanes and Medallion. They're just all so farmed. Now look at the net worth, in fact, 7k, 6k, but their support sitting significantly ahead of their counterparts here already.
Overall, just the early game has been going exactly OG's ways. A lot of the net worth obviously is from the towers that they've claimed, and it doesn't look like they're slowing down. They're going for that tier 2 top, and it's going to drop to the lone druid here. He is scary close to this relic, already at 13 minutes.
There's a lot of damage onto Ana. He's got a spirit to jump away, but he's going to turn and try to battle with S4, but Fly nearly getting in there with a Hex or a Shackle. Quick Remnant away from Ana will get the safety, but top lane, they're chasing a bear. Get the bear, kill it! Golden experience coming our way. This is a nice little bonus for Team World.
Yeah, and I do believe Kaiser got the last hit on it, so that's really good for him. He's working on that Diffusal Blade. They understand that, you know, there's going to be a huge timing here for OG once this Radiance is up, and most likely they're going to get items to try to stall, and I think Ember Spirit's Boots of Travels are going to be important before that, but it looks like, okay, no, he's actually going for drums. So this means both PL and him are, yeah, PL's also building the Diffusal Blade, so it looks like they want to try to take that fight. They want to set the foot down and be like, no, you're not getting any more towers. And,
so try and hit that sweet spot where they've both got an item or so.
Yeah, most probably going to wait for the Diffusal until they make it play, but another smoke from OG here.
Battle Fury, Rezo. Roshan is a possibility here with the Medallion. They'd love a pick first, and with a Boundless Strike chained beautifully. OG just get every spell synchronized on top of the Ember Spirit, and there just really wasn't any room to maneuver. They had spells left over, in fact, to be able to bring him down, and Fly just drops the Serpent Wards at the tier 2. Bit of a trade from Team World top, so they're getting something out of this map, but again, it's been a common thread and theme throughout this qualifier so far that the team behind, you're going for these desperation trades, while your opponents, if they've got the pushing power, go for not one but two towers at the same time. Maybe No-Tail, though, has overplayed his hand a touch. He's getting ganked and roamed in on here, pops the Savage Roar, but with no TP available, he will likely fall, just buying time for the rest of his team to maneuver across the map and maybe make an opening elsewhere. Yeah,
Jarex is already inside of Roshan, and it's unfortunate that he doesn't have a TP. I actually think it's quite hard for those three heroes to bring him down if he does have one there. But yeah, immediately into Roshan. Like you said, the theme really is like doing multiple things at once. You don't want to just be committing to a tower in one place with the heroes. You want to force them to bring heroes bottom, deal with that lone druid, and at the same time get something else somewhere else.
And I'm sorry, Pimp Muckle. I'm sorry. I'll update the stream title. Thank you, JJ. Saving my life as always. Saving esports as I ruin it day to day. Oh dear. So they get Roshan. Pretty simple. Rezo with the Aegis. He can just farm away some Ancients, you know, split push lanes, not really care too much about what Team World bring to the table. But is this the timing you're looking for? I can see you looking at that courier, finding out what's on it. It's a Diffusal Blade.
Yeah.
And a drums. So, Team World, is it smoke time, or is it just walk down a lane time?
I'm not sure if it's even either of that. I think most probably they're just going to try to continue farming and try to catch people out that they feel are out of position. Because I don't really think they want to straight up 5v5. They want to find this engagement, like where they're able to kill someone before all of OG is there. And right now OG are preparing the lanes. You see Puck is pushing out top. Chen is moving in towards bottom. They're totally aware of where Team World is. And it looks like they actually are just going to back off here, where I would assume so.
The Radiance has arrived for No-Tail, and it will get spotted out here. And you're right, Team World full retreat as they maybe try and catch S4, but he's quick on his feet. A 16, 17-minute Veil Blink from the offlane on this Puck as well. Incredible performance so far. It's been very easy, though, to point out, you know, OG's players and heroes doing well because of the way they set up their lanes, the way they've drafted. You've got to say that Team World, even at this, you know, 8k net worth deficit, 6 to 12 in the kills, they're still farming pretty nicely, right? The Abaddon's up there. He's moving towards Radiance after his phased drums. They have those primary items on their core heroes, and with this dual core lineup with, you know, double Agi heroes, I feel like they scale pretty damn well, but it's going to come down to that critical moment, right?
Yeah, I mean,
OG
they
are like, we go.
Scale they definitely do. Like, if this game drags on for a long time, December Spirit and PL together are going to be hard to deal with, simply due to lack of lockdown. Like, their big combination to get kills in this game is the Lone Druid Roar and the Puck Coil. So, at this point in the game, they don't need to commit so much to kill either Ember or PL, because they're not tanky enough to where they require a lot of spell usage, as Soxa might be caught.
Oh man, Serpent Wards and Shackles. Nice little Searing Chains play there. Oh, but S4 in with the coil and the Waning Rift. They take down the Ember. 30 seconds until he returns. He has a buyback, but they're going to lose 3. Abaddon falls in the midst of it all, and SVG is going to have to pull his team out of the grave here and try and defend this, but the tier 3 is already gone. Alpha Wolf helping out with the damage output here from OG as they chase forward, looking for Kaiser. The Savage Roar barely mistimed. A great doppelganger there from the PL, but it's Resolution up at the front, zoning ult with a big boundless strike across the front of two of them. Saxon will barely escape with 3 stacks of the Jingo up, but this is a Rax secured pre-20 minutes from OG, and I don't think they're done yet. They're moving towards mid.
Yeah, they understand that, you know, they're so much stronger than their opponents right now. There's like this huge disconnect in timing for the Radiant heroes, and OG's not afraid to push it. They're just going straight into the base, and
the chain stuns. Ember's forced to buy back, and that's another tier 3. OG might think now about backing up, but they still have Aegis on Monkey King. Where is Rezo actually? Oh, he's jumping over trees. He's into the enemy base. The Savage Roar is there. The deny on the bear. Resolution's like, no, you're not even having that. We'll take every inch out of this game for you, Team World, as Kaiser nearly gets Waning Rifted, but again, a good doppelganger. The trouble is, he just cannot stick onto a target. They're glyphing up their racks, and OG will now start to think about the retreat, falling back, bringing the creeps away from danger there as the Chen does get back to safety, but in comes S4 again with a nice Hex into a boundless strike. They'll take down the Phantom Lantern, they'll turn this into more, converting kills into more kills. There's printing money for themselves. Resolution still with the Aegis, really not anything to fear for him. As Team World, this really is desperation. You can feel their fingers starting to bleed as they're spamming every spell they can to keep OG away from their base. But the Shadow Blade freshly arriving here for Rezo, thinking about a sneaky play.
yeah, and the no bear on no tail probably is the big thing here. Had they still had a bear, they probably would have committed to this push, but knowing that they don't have a bear, they're going to back off, probably wait for that cooldown to come up, maybe even wait for 2 bears if they want to play it extremely safe, and then just head straight back down mid. They don't want to give Team World any opportunities to build up any items. They spend a lot of gold on buybacks here, but still, there's just no reason to let them breathe.
How? What?
Sucks a god.
Dude, he's here, and the courier's here. He just did like a 250 range attack with Night Stalker. Hello?
He has Monkey King's bar.
Ah, very true, very true. Oh, Jirax, we missed that death, but oh well. Kaiser comes out and gets a kill. S4 and Fly left out in the open potentially here, but they've got an observer ward scouting everything, so they've got the information they need to back up or stick around. As I was just saying, Resolution has picked up a Shadow Blade. He has now finished a Desolator.
Yeah, all this tower gold and the Rax gold, it's really, really stacking up for them. Their heroes are all like absurdly big at this time in the game. Rip for him.
He dead. Remnant in, Hex immediately, and Fly. Well, he's being right-clicked by SVG with him for shots, but the Serpent Water there to trap him in. Ana feared up, rooted now as well, and the Ember can't run, cannot hide. No Tail secures a double kill. Kaiser forced to retreat, but I think Resolution, oh no, he had his number, but he lost it and forgot it, didn't want to return the call. Kaiser will back up. Not really sidestepping the boundless strike, but he gets away from it regardless. But this is the S4 Dream Coil special. Snaps onto the PL. Perfect placement as well as he jumps forward. One more punch and Rezo will get another. And GG is going to be coming as Saxa calls it. Game 1 to OG. 8-24, but that seemed like a walk in the park for them.
Yeah, No Tail was standing still and just 360ing in place as his bear was killing the Rax. And I think that kind of summarizes how they feel about this game.
Oh boy.
I mean, we've watched quite a few games in this EU qualifier, but I don't think any game has looked so like one-sided as this one. Even the ones that we saw yesterday, that they were like one team felt really, really strong. This just seemed like a team that, you know, they have a strategy, they've prepared, they know how to play it, and they just executed it perfectly. I really don't have much to say. I don't even think it's like Team World necessarily playing poorly. It's just OG playing that well.
OG drafted something they were comfortable with. They drafted a push lineup, and you know what? They pushed with it, right? They took all the tier 1s by like, 9 minutes or something, 10 minutes. Right. They just destroyed every single outer tower, and it was systematic, basically, from OG. But it's a best of 3, so Team World do have some more chances potentially up their sleeve. So we'll take a short break. Game 2 coming up in just a little bit.